Welcome to program Pulse and Dance. I'm Valentina Kozlova, founder of VKDF and VKIBC. And let's get started. Welcome to Pulse and Dance, and it's my pleasure to introduce my great friend, Victoria Rinaldi, former principal dancer and international guest artist, and presently Vicky is in charge of dance programs under Catskill Mountain Foundation, upstate New York. So, we met 40 years ago.
40 years ago.
Can you talk? Can you tell how did you know?
Oh, yes. Donald Sadler asked me to step into a role in the national tour, actually international tour of On Your Toes that was already in progress. So I was going to fly to Toronto to meet the company. I didn't know anyone. I hadn't rehearsed with anyone. I just sort of appeared. One day it was one girl doing the On Your Toes number, and the next day, here I come. So I had a very short rehearsal to get into the show, and I was like a mystery figure to everyone. And I just did my little thing for a week or so, and one day, warm up, Valentina sits down next to me and she goes, "So, Vicky, what's your story?" And we've been friends ever since. And I was like, "Oh, somebody knows who I am. That's okay." And so we traded our stories, and we've had lots of fun together. When Valentina had her company, The Daring Project, she invited me to be a part of that, which was the most fun I've ever had on stage, really. I mean, I've had some fun on stage, but that was fun. We had a great time. We danced all over the place, and it was a wonderful group, a small group. Everybody was in major companies. Our schedules were crazy. I usually was the last one to arrive and the first to leave because I had a horrible schedule. And Margot Sappington choreographed fantastic repertoire for the company. And it was pretty groundbreaking at the time because it was wonderful dancers in major companies that had danced all the classics and everything, and this was something new and different and fun. And it went on for a while. I mean, it went on for
Several years.
Yes, and everybody, I think it's a very fond memory in everyone's career. Yeah.
We traveled internationally. We did a few seasons at the Joyce. There were times that, my daughter clearly still wasn't at school. And so she was traveling with us,
yes.
And one of our dancers, and of course you as her godmother, you were taking care of her.
Yeah, Clara was backstage.
Just like a kid. Yeah.
We took her to the swimming pool. She went wherever we went. She was in rehearsal, and it was fun. And actually, a lot of the dancers had children, and it was unusual.
Yeah, it was unusual, but also was unusual that I wanted to have a really beautiful dancers. So our girls were gorgeous, pick and choose, and our men were very handsome.
Very handsome.
We all kind of flirt, but that's where it stayed. So therefore, performances made so much nicer and interesting to dance because we communicated.
The repertoire was custom made for our personalities and our looks and everything. So it was really sort of we all had standout roles and moments when we were
principals.
Yeah, well, but Margot could look at our personalities and figure out, I know, she's giving me a bath. The dog is giving me a bath. She's just
okay, cookie.
Okay, but that was a very high point in our careers. I mean, we were all on major stages and everything, but there was nothing like that.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I wanted to kind of recreate that in project as, of course, not dancing on stage, but sort of somehow to be involved. So one of your last roles I remember was in a ballet called Don't Bring Lulu.
Oh yeah.
So you performed with your partner Cornell Crabtree, and so that was fun. And there were like 3 couples. You were hostess, and then
I was the hostess that had a little bit too much to drink.
it was
and my husband was sneaking his girlfriend to the party, and I found out about it.
So
and hilarity ensued.
And what happened at the end? I flirted, and then I ran away with Butler.
Yes, and that made me very upset because evidently I had a thing going on with the butler. I mean,
as well.
The husband, all right, take it or leave, but she took my butler.
Okay, so that was like incredible. As I said, we traveled internationally and nationally. It was a good time. We really had a good time. So what happened next? That you retired.
I did retire.
And you moved upstate.
I did.
And I said, in the middle of nowhere.
I had a tractor.
Okay. And I said, she's not going to last because she's the most society girl who goes to every party exists in New York City. I couldn't even keep up with her. But anyway, she's still there. I'm surprised.
Much to my chagrin. And much to my chagrin, I'm no longer retired. I don't know how that, well, I know exactly how it happened.
Well, what happened that you built your big house, and then you were in charge of managing one of a very nice galleries.
Yes, I was a partner, curated a gallery.
And then decided.
And I wrote screenplays. I had a screenplay produced. I think it was my brush with breast cancer that did it, honestly. No, that's what happened was I am very, very lucky. I had a case of breast cancer in 2011. And my husband convinced me to go back to ballet class because I was feeling very uncomfortable in my body. And he literally bribed me to go to ballet class. And so I found a pretty good school nearby, and I'm in a ballet class because I was not going to get back in shape in New York, for sure. I went somewhere where no one would know me and no one would look at me. But meanwhile, the kids were looking at me and they realized I didn't dance like their teachers. And they came to me and said, "Can you give us corrections if you see something?" And I said, "No, this isn't my class."
It's true.
It's not my class. That would be rude. But every now and then. And this was the best class in the best school in the area. And these were the best students in there. And there was talent in the room. There really was. And for months, this is going on. The teachers the parents are asking my husband, "Does she coach? Does she this? Does she teach?" He's like, "No, but you can ask her. I don't think she will." And this went on for months. And then I thought, there's a lot of doctors that went to a lot of trouble to fix me up and make me healthy. And these kids are not going to get to where they want to go. There was a lot of desire to have, they loved dance. They were good. It wasn't like they were bad, but they didn't have the right classes and they didn't have the right person advising them how to get to the next place. And they weren't going to know until it was too late. And I thought I could help with that. And it's really bad of me, after everything I'd been through, to not help if I can. So that's how it started.
Yeah, I remember that you told me, "No, I'm done with ballet." And next thing I knew, of course, you went through this terrible ordeal.
Not that bad, really.
Well,
yeah,
I remember that day. I came to
right,
you.
it's true.
And then you managed. We put the music and then you were dancing like crazy, not ballet dancing. Like disco dancing, and I have photo to prove. Yeah.
Oh dear.
After this news was
wow.
Okay. So since then you started a little bit to teach, which was very interesting, non-professional kids
Right.
who live in the area. And then you asked me, you said that you want to do Nutcracker to help, and I brought my students from my school for a while.
It happened very well. I was teaching just privates to a handful of very talented kids, and they're all professionals now.
Mm-hmm.
And it became very clear that I was going to need to find another place to coach. There was a foundation on the mountaintop that does a lot of really great things. They have a piano museum. They sponsor all sorts of arts up there, and they had a beautiful studio space in a converted dairy barn. And I asked if I could use it to coach a couple of local kids, and they said yes. And it worked out. I really wanted to keep doing it, and I asked them what they wanted, and they asked for a Nutcracker. And I thought, okay, I can do that. So I called Valentina. Valentina had a fabulous school in the city with really wonderful students, some of which I've been looking at for years. And I said, would you like to come up? It won't cost you anything. And they can have extra performances. And she said, yes. The first year, so I had an audition for just children, not anyone that took class. That first year, no one took class. No one had been on stage. Nobody had ever taken a musical cue. Most of the choreography was based on hopscotch, skipping. I did the party scene, the angels, the battle scene, and Mother Ginger, and I think that was it the first year.
Yeah, I brought...
and you brought everything else.
Everything else, and we did this for a while. You also gave to my students an opportunity before I took them to different international competitions.
Right, yes.
So we ran
Yes.
on stage,
Which is, I mean, the great thing about being with the foundation is there's a stage, a good stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same dimensions as the Joyce, and recently there's been a very big downtown revitalization grant which has brought the technical package of this theater up to the par of better than the Joyce. It's the same dimensions as the Joyce, so it's a good stage. And these kids that live in the middle of nowhere, now they have good classes, and they get to do at least 10 performances a year on stage, which is great.
It's better than for any existing big schools.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
they do, some of them do Nutcracker, some not even, and after that they do just at the end of the year, the spring performance.
Yeah.
But you're going further with that.
I would like to, because what is interesting, because I went about this backwards, and I had time away from a career, and a dance career is you're very focused on your performance, what you're doing. You're not really looking around you, and it's tunnel vision on what you need to do your job. As soon as and so I had 10 years in between stepping away from the stage and getting in this situation where I had distance, which was a good thing, because I didn't teach them to dance how I danced. I had time to go, ooh, I really wish I had done this differently or better or whatever. Yeah. Also, you're seeing from outside the challenges these kids are going to have, and what's lacking in a lot of the programs. And the whole goal of all these classes and all this coaching and all these performances is to have a career. And a dance career is a beautiful, wonderful thing if you're prepared for it and you're ready to have it. It can be a traumatic, horrible experience if you're not mature enough to stand up for yourself, or if you're not ready to be a company member, a part of a group, and work with other people. And a lot of the programs give you beautiful technique, and you're part of a group, you're part of a prestigious program. But at the end, they need to find you a job. And if they don't have a company attached to feed you into, you become like a hot potato. Nobody wants to be the last person to hold you. And that's the end game. So I really would like to, with all the resources of, you know, the Orpheum dance program and the Orpheum theater and all the housing that we have available, not only do we invite big programs from the city to come collaborate with our local community in Nutcracker, and it's been very popular. I would like to create a dance festival where the summer intensive would be training how to be in a company, how to rehearse for 3 things in one day and then perform something else, how to audition for your role, and it would give an opportunity for directors and choreographers to come and learn about these, who surprises you on stage, who delights you, who's not reliable, and also a chance for them to see the repercussions before they're losing a job, you know.
Yeah, that's, I think, the issue that we all see now and will face, because quite often directors, they take dancers from auditions. But then there's 200 people.
Yeah.
I mean, how, yes, somebody is better than the other, but are they functioning right for rehearsals? Or if you have to step in immediately, like in 2 hours for another role, that's becoming a problem, really serious. And even directors of the companies, including big directors and big companies, saying, "Oh, I've got such and such dancer. 6 months later, this dancer is released because he or she didn't act that fast to learn a role, like slow down." So it should be a little bit more of a festival's specific program that you would like to do, and that's that's one of the reasons why I do competition. It's exactly the same. They stay for 1 week here. Judges teaching classes, and they see dancers on stage. They also see them off stage, taking classes, and it is true that we know many schools dancers are good, for example, and they graduate, but they don't know where to audition or where to go. So schools don't actually supply that bridge between graduating and getting into some company. And as we know, there's not small stage ever exist.
No.
There's not small theater company exist. This is your love, because dance, it's not just job, it's your love. So you can dance in smallest stage in the world with smallest company and do your best, and also grow and then see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, every time you step on stage, it's special, it's a privilege, and you should not hold anything back. And it's hard to get kids to understand that day in, day out in that grind. And I say to the kids, you should be so lucky that your dance career lasts 30 years. But if it lasts 30 years, you need to keep yourself entertained. And if you're not going to entertain yourself while you're dancing, why would you entertain anyone else? Right. If you are not showing joy, or actually experiencing joy, not just showing joy, experiencing joy, then you need to become a nurse or something where you do find joy. I don't know.
Yeah, it is hard. You remember that, say, like we take many years back. Yeah, we were living our life. We dance on stage, off we go to some clubs and celebrate. And next day is back to class at 10 o'clock and working hard and rehearsing. So it's not just like you're ballet dancers and you have no
Yeah,
right
but
to
I
leave.
mean, every rehearsal was a performance. Well,
Yeah,
I never marked.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I never marked. And then some of my partners would be like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "No, I'm in character."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. No, I mean, if the music was going, why not? Why not be in character? It's, I mean, how does one mark "Don't bring Lulu"?
Oh no, you cannot.
You can't.
For some reasons, I remember that a friend of mine and yours too invited me to sunbaths. Of course, sunbaths.
Oh.
Yes, so sunbaths you go for vacation.
We danced in a festival.
Some sort of festival.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and so he invited me to sunbaths to dance, and they wanted for me to dance like Dying Swan. And I thought, okay, well, that's not big deal. So I had to sign a release with New York City Ballet, and they asked, so where's the performance? And I say sunbath. And nobody believed, but it was true. And then I said, Vicky, because I told to our friend, I said, let's bring Vicky. And Vicky, of course, chose Roland Petit Carmen. Didn't you do Tchaikovsky Pas?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so here we go. I'm sitting at the beach because I can get up in the middle of the night and dance Dying Swan. This poor girl was rehearsing all day long. And I said, you're really missing fun. And performance came with mayor and like all this big...
no, there were people in the audience. I was not expecting to be in the audience.
Yeah.
I was like... I thought I was going to. Oh well, Claude Bowling was there.
Yeah.
He could have played for your Dying Swan. It was that was a shame.
Yeah, well,
but no, this was a big deal. There were a lot of people there that I thought I was going to be giving a performance for vacationees, and there were
No, that was the season. I think it was February, and it was the season when all this New York society and big artists,
everybody was down there.
They are going to sunbaths, and here we are. And I think you already finished. You danced your pieces, and mine was like somewhere at the end, and it was a huge storm. You remember that?
The storm happened before. Well, I remember during the coda of Tchaikovsky Pas, I'm like doing the supported jetés, and there was a double rainbow, and we're like looking at the rainbow while we're dancing, and the stage was a little wet. That was a little concerning. Yeah.
So it's in Italy when we performed with Daring Project. There was a lot.
I just remember one performance that started one day and went to the next day because it ran so late. I was like, Italians,
Well, but besides that, look, we had fabulous time.
We did.
Danced, we lived our lives.
Well,
everything is not just like theater showing you.
It was every now and then I felt like, oh my God, I'm an adult, and when you would be filling out the occupation thing on the occupation, ballerina. I was like, yes, I am an adult.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, going serious, what do you think is happening now in the ballet world?
I don't know. I hope. I really hope. I mean, in some ways, it's very exciting. In some ways, it's so challenging right now that it makes me afraid. I hope that the fantastic classics that are gems and jewels get preserved and for generations to come, but I also love seeing the infusion of interesting, new, avant-garde. When I started my career, I was such a little ballerina bunhead, and my career, I really had to learn to be a person on stage. And so, this was not anything I learned during my school years, because I had really good teachers, but people were teaching me technique, not how to be how to change on a dime. And I don't know what is going to happen, but I am pretty committed to try to create an audience in the most unexpected place that will, it's not only making beautiful dancers, it's cultivating the audience to love the art form.
I agree with that because 100%, because audience reacts now on technical aspect, and they don't see the beauty of culture when dancers, for example, coming on stage. And I feel, I mean, we're on the same page. You are doing an incredible job with foundation. I'm doing what I'm doing, like trying to exactly while addressing new avant-garde or new works, but preserve the classics, with our time, like not like it was 50 years ago. But there's a rules, for example, what you can and cannot do it in modern time. And so very often, unfortunately, with YouTube and all those videos that dancers, for example, they learn roles, and then I say, where did you get this version? Oh, I've seen such and such big dancer, famous dancer dancing this, and I say, but that was specifically done for this dancer, not for you. And we have, Russia does have archives. Here, it's basically what you see on YouTube.
Well, actually, you can go to Lincoln Center Library and go, before there was YouTube, when I learned roles, and if I wasn't being coached, I went to Lincoln Center Library, I rented the machine for X amount of time, I told them what I wanted to see, and I went back and I looked at all the ballerinas that were doing the role, what role I was doing. I wanted to see the different versions, and you know, how is Lupe Serrano different than Alicia Alonso? How, you know, I wanted to see it all and make comparisons. And it was very easy to see how things changed through the years, this and that. I mean, I tell my kids, first of all, you know, nobody puts a bad YouTube video of themselves on there. So, you know, the kids go and they look and they feel inferior. They're seeing somebody do 16 pirouettes. And I say, don't look. First of all, part of it is they want you to feel bad about yourself. You know, they're look how fabulous I am. How much footage did not make it on YouTube to get that fluky 16 turns? And she does, you know, 16 turns, but everything else looks like it's just a preparation for the 16 or an excuse to stick the 16 turns in there. I really suggest heartily, it's like, don't do that unless you want to give yourself a complex.
Yes, that's true, and I say, or when I watch performances or gala or competitions, that I see dancers from coming on stage, and if I notice someone special, that it's from the way he or she walks on stage.
Oh, that's one of the most difficult.
Yeah, it's the most difficult, and nobody. Plus, not only that, you have to walk with your personality, right?
But characters.
Yes, exactly. You have to. If you're Giselle, it's one way. If you if you dance Don Quixote, another way, and that is not taught.
Well, I'd say when I start teaching somebody a variation, it's like over and over walking out. You know, it's so hard because they're young.
Yeah.
They don't even know who they are yet, let alone they're learning this variation, usually out of context of the whole ballet. So you have to tell them who they are in the, you know, where this variation comes in the plot. Because not, you know, you don't dance Kitri doesn't dance every single one of her variations exactly the same. They're in a different place, a different emotional place, whatever. And also, it's a different walk.
Yeah.
It's a different walk, and it's so hard to do. So hard to do.
We had a great time, didn't we? On the dance, I feel like we had a...
Yes, it was a wonderful, wonderful time, and I felt really good when I retired. The first time I thought, you know, I got everything out of this that I wanted. I was not expecting, but I must say the second career does something that the first one didn't. So it is very nice, very gratifying, more gratifying than actually doing it yourself, to see a part of your knowledge and your work being passed on, your thumbprint put on this person, and other people will add their thumbprints, but if you do it with care, they'll carry it with you forever, with them.
Yeah, that is true. It's a completely different. So whatever that you received, your experience on stage, then you pass on. And if you pass on with your knowledge and love, not to compare whoever you teach to what you did, but discover something in them, it's incredible, because you feel not only gratified, you feel that you actually do something for them.
And it's not, you can step outside of what you did, because here's this completely different person with a completely different body and a completely different pros and cons, and you look past what you used to do, and it's like, how can I take this and make it their best? And when they meet you there and want to go, it's very nice.
Yes. So what's your next step?
Oh God. Well, I've learned not to predict that in my life. Huh? You've known me almost longer than most people. So wouldn't you say I'd be better off not trying to predict what comes next?
But you telling me what you want to do.
I know, but that's pretty cheeky on my part.
Okay, so we don't discuss what Vicky is planning to do, but some very...
It's all very spur of the moment, and it depends on what's thrown at me and how I react to it, I would say.
You'll be fine, and I'm sure that we all help each other. Do you want to say something?
No, I adore this woman.
Yes, thank you so much. So we went through very good stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes not so good stuff.
Yeah.
And but if you look at life the way we do, I think we're okay.
I think we're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.